What? What's up?
I don't understand. I really don't. Because we've been trying to get these after hours. They don't like the trash. So I'm trying to get on this.
Now, right about now, you're probably wondering, how did I get into this situation? I'm wondering in myself. Well, really, it started 27 years ago. I got a job working for Piedmont Airlines. I was a baggage handler, working the ramp, loading luggage, and then I got promoted. Some friends and I got asked to move to Baltimore. So we all packed up and we all moved to Baltimore, Maryland. While we were there working on the airport, I met a few other friends. One specifically worked for the NSA. Now wait a minute. You may be wondering, what does the NSA got to do with this life history? Well, it really has a lot to do with it. It was here that I met a man named Doug Thacker who said, hey, let's build a computer. So, him and I got together, ordered our parts from the computer shopper, and put a computer together. Didn't know a thing about it, but I sure learned a lot. And soon I had an IBM clone computer. But that was not all I got in life in Baltimore. I also got a new son. But that didn't hinder my wife and I from traveling. We still were able to make the rounds and travel around the world, and made it to Hawaii. We also got to make it down to Cancun, Mexico. But as life has it, things were not always good, and we were going to have to move back to Nashville. Ellen's father got real sick. Well, as we traveled to Nashville, the sun was setting on Maryland. But little do we know, storm clouds were rolling in. Within a few years after moving to Nashville, U.S. Air would buy Piedmont in a hostile stock takeover. And soon, layoffs would happen. I would lose friends. My career would change. And even though this career was changing, it wasn't all devastation. My wife and I seen the birth of two lovely twin boys. Our home grew, and finally we had to buy a new house. Now, this didn't hinder us from still taking advantage of those nice airline benefits. We got to go to Yellowstone, even took a trip to London, got to see the Queen's Palace. Oh, and yeah, while I was there, in the tube I got my wallet stolen. But that didn't hinder us, and here we had another child, our son. And we continued to go to Australia and even do some whale watching down in Hawaii. So we had quite an interesting life in Nashville. And finally, we also saw the birth of our daughter. So our family was complete. 5 children, 4 boys and 1 girl. Well, that meant we had to remodel the home. And so here we are, as you can see, remodeling this nice new home. Expanding the kitchen, making the dining room larger. Yeah, when you have 5 kids, you gotta have a lot of room to sit down and eat dinner. So as you can see, the remodeling was complete. We were quite content with our new home and new remodeling job. It would be an understatement to say that we wasn't very satisfied and very happy with our new home. But then one day it was snowing outside. And you may be wondering, well, Chris, get on with it. How has this got to do with being a manager? Well, bear with me. I was in prayer as it was snowing. And then all of a sudden the Lord said, Chris, are you ready to move? Are you ready to sell? Now, grant you this was no burning bush, but it was still nonetheless a very convicting thought. And therefore, wow. In the end, it wound up, we did sell our house. And after a lot of prayer, we moved to Arizona. So, on our way out to Arizona, I didn't have a job. Couldn't transfer with the airlines. And we went from having a nice 5-bedroom house to a 3-bedroom apartment. But nonetheless, we made the best of it. We felt we were led by the Lord. And soon I got a job working for the MBA program for the ASU College of Business.
Meeting with I'm not going to do it again. Like second class. You want first class customer service. I want first class customer service.
Would I do something different? Not on your life. I do enjoy being the director of IT for the School of Business.
Guys, you're great.
And who knew 27 years ago that it would all start because I decided to build a computer. Life has not been easy, but anything that is of value requires a little sweat and a lot of tears. And for me, it's required a lot of prayer and a lot of trust in God.